Hi guys, and welcome to analyzing the general form of a rational function that looks like y equals ax plus b over cx plus d. If you have been looking at the other rational function videos, you'll notice there are a couple of differences. One big difference is that in this form of the equation, you have an x on top. The other difference is that there's nothing added on after the fraction. Okay, so those are really the big main differences. And then the other thing is that we can have on our x down here, we can have a coefficient on that x as well, which is different from our other form, which is y equals a over x minus h plus k. Okay, so we're going to look at some of the things about this specific thing here. Okay, so as always, x and y just represent the coordinates of the points on the graph. So when you see them in problems, you're going to see x and y actually in your problems. And then the rest of the numbers, a, b, c, and d, are all constants. So when you're looking at your actual examples, you'll be seeing them be numbers there. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to look at finding what the actual variables are. And this is pretty straightforward. We're really just taking them exactly from here. So here, remember, there's that invisible 1 coefficient if it's just an x. And so a would be 1. B, since it's negative, would be -1. C is again going to be just +1, and then D would be +3. So we're just looking at, what's in the same places in this equation as is in the equation that's right here in our general form. Okay, so let's do the same thing then for our second example here. So A here would be 2. Okay, B this time is going to be +1 because it's a plus there. Okay, C, again, we've got that invisible 1 that's right there. And then D is going to be -3. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. The thing that maybe will give some people a little bit of difficulty here are the asymptotes, because in our other example they were very straightforward. It was just x equals h, y equals k, and that was it. But for this example, we actually are going to have to do a little bit of computation. So you can see the vertical asymptote is x equals -d over c, and then the horizontal asymptote is y equals a over c. Okay, so let's go ahead and just figure those out for these. All right, so let's look at the asymptotes for this problem right here. Okay, so having your variables written out right here can be very helpful, because then once you're worrying about plugging them in here, you can just look straight off of here and not have to worry about looking back at your equation and trying to figure out what exactly a, b, c, and d are again. All right, so let's start with x. So we've got x equals -d, okay, so d is +3, so we're going to do -3 over c divided by c, which is just 1. And then -3 divided by 1 gives us, again, just a -3. Okay, so the vertical asymptote here would be x equals -3. All right, and then the horizontal asymptote, we've got y equals a over c. Both of these are positive. Okay, so y equals a is 1. And then c is also 1, so 1 divided by 1, which is just 1. All right, so our horizontal asymptote would be y equals 1. Okay, and that's it there. So now let's look at our second example, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. Okay, so we have x, and now this is maybe where it's a little tricky, because it's -d, but our d is already negative. So what that means is that we need to change the sign, because a negative is the same as a positive. So d is going to be -d is going to be +3. So x equals +3 over our c, which is 1. So divided by 1. You can write it either way here, the division as a fraction, or you can write the division as that slash there. Okay, and then 3 divided by 1 would be just +3. And then our a and c, again, they don't change signs, so there's just going to be straight from there, y equals a, which is 2, divided by c, which is, again, just 1. And your answer would be y equals 2. Okay, so in both the vertical and the horizontal asymptote, you're dividing by c, but in the vertical, you have your numerator is -d, and in the horizontal, your numerator is +a. And that's it.